What's up, y'all?
What up, people?
So, we brought something different to you guys today. Normally, we're doing the abandoned locations and the real, like, ooh. But today was a history lesson. We came up to, up around Gainesville, Florida. The Haile Homestead. We had a very informative tour. Very informative tour guide. She was so sweet. She's a historian and they do so much work here. So big shout out to them. Big shout out. So we're going to take y'all on the walkthrough of the homestead, what's left. Unfortunately, the enslaved homes are no longer standing, but the actual homestead is still there. And they call it the house with the talking walls, and we'll show y'all why. Hope y'all enjoy this video.
Since he owned a gold mine as well as a cotton plantation, but with the crops failing, they had to go somewhere else. Right. Well, they knew to come here because they had served at the Second Seminole War in Micanopy. These are rocks.
Oh wow! Okay.
You see the adze marks where the enslaved person is hacking away at a tree that they got off the land. You can see all the adze marks. And then the rocks were brought here from the land. Now the mortar's new and the rocks are standing up straight because in 1996 they were starting to lean forward. Okay, and so they straightened them out. And you can see this new beam right here because there's no adze marks on it. And sometimes when we look under here we see snakes, so if you're scared of them, get up. Guest, boy, girl, boy. So Miss Lois Hale, and her date is Henry Davis. Miss Gertrude Jackman, and her date is Jim MacArthur. Miss Maud Graham, and her date is Evans Hale. Right. And he's the one who inherited the house, and they did get married. And they built a house in the Duck Pond neighborhood.
I see. Got the date there.
Yeah, May 18th, 1904. So they're still young and still partying here and writing on the walls.
Drawings.
Mm-hmm. And this is all authentic Hale furniture.
Oh, wow.
Which is unusual because a lot of houses have furniture that's donated.
Is that a violin?
Is it what?
Violin.
Violin.
Violin in case was a donation, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
because this is where they would party here.
Right.
And they would play piano. In fact, they had 4 pianos.
Wow.
And we still have 2, one out in the hall and this one.
Oh, so those are original. Those are original.
This actually came with them on the ship from South Carolina. Because you see, it says Bacon and Raven, New York, for George Oates, Charleston, South Carolina.
House shifts.
So, and the Hale children paid to refinish the wood, but no one's going to refinish the keys because it's not air conditioned.
Right.
It's better for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's not as shaky most of the time. So I'm going to say maybe spirits are here.
Cool.
Really? You think
because
so?
It's not as noisy most of the time.
Really?
Maybe you're bringing them.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
She said we're bringing them.
Well, or they live here.
Right.
But they usually don't make themselves known.
Oh, maybe they don't like us in here.
So the room doesn't normally shift like that?
It does make noises sometimes, but I'm noticing it with you guys here.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So when we see these penknives here, we think, even though they were wealthy, that when you have 12 boys, you can't give them a lot of presents. So we think they drew that as they wanted Christmas presents.
Their little wish list.
That was a wish list for Christmas presents.
The drawing is phenomenal, though.
Well, look at this one. This is a Gibson girl.
Oh, wow.
See, Charles Dana Gibson would draw girls like this, and that person did it perfectly.
Yeah.
I seen another girl over there in a dress with...
And then now here's something.
1945.
You can draw your own conclusions, but you see she has like puffy hair and bigger mouth.
Like a black...
And he has straight hair and small lips.
It's a black girl with
he's kissing her.
I agree. I see that. I see that. So Wesley Chestnut was one of the family members, right?
A family member because Mrs. Hale was a Chestnut. Serena Hale. She was a Chestnut, so that's one of her relatives.
And see, this is the beauty about learning history, man, because you just learn so much. And just to walk in here and see the writing on the wall and how old it is, it hasn't went nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So interesting. But I think, did y'all paint something over this to preserve it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Polyurethane it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We have had people try to write over it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you see the magic marker there, brown. That's not old. I don't know who wrote that. E.J.
It's a magic marker.
See, that's vandalism.
Oh, well.
And that's been there for quite a while.
That's sad.
So that's why we put the polyurethane on to try to stop that.
Wow.
And then this is a partner's desk. I don't think it was in the sitting room, but this is how people could conduct business. And the cotton, some shards that they found.
You know, you cannot put no color on the beauty of love.
Like you say, you can only get so much education through TV and books, but you got to actually visit a place to get the real education. There's bad and good.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of bad, unfortunately, that happened with slaves.
We all know about the bad.
Right, but there's other sides.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's other sides to it that
And they
we
don't talk about it.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
For example, Kirby Smith, who was a general, and he was supposed to say, if you see a Union black soldier, kill him on sight. His own half-brother was white. And he looked just like Kirby Smith. And when the war was over, the Smith family financed his college education in Tennessee, and he became a doctor.
oh wow.
And the Smith family paid for their mixed relative to go to college. And he became a doctor in Jacksonville, and they said he saved thousands of lives. And there's a statue of Kirby Smith with the mixed brother. But there's no finite evidence because they never did a DNA test.
Yeah.
And the mixed brother never had children. So we don't know. But they look exactly the same. And they paid for his college education.
Right.
It's kind of, yeah.
So it has to be. It has to be
for
the
itself.
same. But when you read the book, The Kirby Smith, there's like nothing. They don't mention a mixed brother at all.
Yeah, and that's one thing about it. You know,
No
a
one
lot of
talks about
stuff is only what we can read. So
Right.
we don't really know the truth.
It's not in the book.
You know? Right.
So, and this is Catherine Hale Matheson. She was a Hale, and she married a Matheson, the wife of Christopher Matheson and the half-sister of Thomas Hale.
That's
So,
her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's her. And so everybody marries the next door, girl next door.
Right.
They all come down to Gainesville, they all intermarry, and now there's a museum downtown named after her. So when they had the parties here, they actually had this, you know how you used to sign a register at a hotel? Well, they had this, the Haile Homestead, Evans Hale owner, Kanapaha, Alachua County. You sign name, residence, married or single. People don't ask that now. Age, don't ask that either. Room and remarks. This is page from July 28th, 1907, and this shows a 1907 car,
right.
and it says, this is a mosquito in possession, because it's slapping you in the face. There's no windshield.
Yeah, windshield, right.
And it was fun to go through here and see
Oh,
who the people are that signed it, and the people that, my house was built in 1901, and my people are in here.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then this one, I knew both of all the kids, and one girl said she remembers, I'm calling her a girl, she remembers coming here as a 4 or 5 year old with her father,
Oh, wow.
and they signed it in 1913. She couldn't write, so she didn't sign it, but her sister and her brother signed it. And she said she remembers her father coming out here, and she doesn't know why, but he had a key and he unlocked it. And what he did was he put food out here. Well, that was for a party because there's no stores.
Right,
So the
right.
grocery man had to
So he
bring
would
food to
deliver it,
Right.
You
yeah.
don't run over to a Publix.
Right.
So the food was here, and then they had their party. So that's what she didn't understand what was going on. And then here's another piano. So this is the formal process. And they have a little bit less writing here. You do see Serena, how burned out she is. After having 15
Yeah, she
kids.
looked like, wow.
And guess what? They died in their 60s. Don't they look? They look.
Yeah,
to
both
me-
of them died in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And she looks, worn out.
Yeah.
And then here he is, a handsome dude. He's traveling around.
Yeah. He didn't have to deal with the kids.
You even with the wife.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened here, and I'm not sure if they mentioned it in the video, was a movie was filmed here called Gal Youngin.
Yes, they did mention
that?
it. Mm-hmm.
So the plantation was closed up,
Mm-hmm.
and the movie makers were looking for an old, large building that was kind of falling into ruin, and they found this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they opened it up in the late 70s, and they filmed the movie. And the movie was Marjorie Kinning Rawlings' story.
I don't mean to cut you off. Are we the only ones in here?
Are you what?
Are we the only ones in here?
You're the only ones in the house.
I heard conversations besides you.
When we first came in, I heard it.
Yeah, you heard it?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear it?
No,
I did it when we first came in.
really? Huh, okay.
I don't hear it right now.
It just stopped now. But when we first came in, I heard it. And then as I was sitting here reading
There's a possibility a homeless came in. I mean, they're everywhere.
That is a possibility.
And I heard they was conversating. It was like two people conversating.
Right.
Yeah.
We both heard, okay. So people say old houses didn't have walk-in closets. Well, this one did.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody invented the hanger or the closet rod. Everything had to be hooks. When was the hanger invented? When was the closet rod invented?
Right.
So they had a walk-in closet, but they only had hooks.
Hooks, right.
And then we had shelves, and some of this is from the second floor of this plaster because when the roof leaked, the plaster would fall down. And then some of the furniture was falling apart. And then this broom, you had to sweep the yard with that.
The yard?
Yes, because there was no, you wanted to keep you wanted to keep the leaves away and the cockroaches away. Henry Gaines is the one who did the masonry and the chimneys. And you see the iron here, the bottom of the andiron, and that could either be a Scottish good luck thing, which the white Hales descended from Scotland, or an African good luck, because he didn't want this is the nursery, he didn't want the children to die.
Right.
And they didn't. They only died in South Carolina, one.
So what they do, they put
That's where the little girl died, was in South Carolina?
Up in South Carolina, and none of the children she had here died. In fact, they lived a lot longer, too. So this, I want to talk to you about this dresser.
How tiny.
So Johnson Chestnut made this dresser, and he was an enslaved black person.
Right.
And when freedom came, and everybody who'd been elected to a position could no longer work because they were traitors, because they were Confederates. So Reconstruction, black people took all the offices. And Johnson Chestnut became a member of the school board and might have been the director right now, I don't remember. But how did he know how to read and write?
Right.
Because that was technically illegal.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what the Hales, we think, taught
Charlie.
some people how to read and write. You're lucky you got me, I'm going to say.
Yay! I think we've lucked out at all the places we've gone. We're usually like the only ones there usually.
Okay.
So
We are getting less and less people to work because it's politically incorrect to like plantations or want to see them, or you think you're going to get a racist interpretation. Have you had that anywhere?
Well, the only thing we have had is people that don't really want to say certain things.
I think it makes them feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Maybe they feel like we're going to take it the wrong way, but
we don't. We're pretty open-minded and like we know.
I know, but it probably makes people nervous that you're
Could be.
misconstrue something.
Right.
Scared you're going to say, "Oh, that house should be burned down."
Right.
And this is, we're in
I think it's all history, regardless.
Right, that's what I say.
It's history. It's things that need to be known. Like it's good to come out and visit.
Well, I'm going to say they want to take down Confederate statues, and that's history too.
Right. Yeah.
We're now erasing history.
Yeah, and all of it is part of history.
It's all part of history, and I think the statue should have a plaque next to them saying, blah, 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 this is what happened, this is why they were put up.
Right.
Instead of removing them.
Right,
now people say, oh, there was no racism.
Right.
Oh, the Confederates died out, nobody cared.
The thing about it, in my opinion, I think what they should do is not remove them, but educate.
Right.
And
educate.
That's why I'm saying put a plaque next to it.
Right.
To tell them more
Telling the story.
About it.
Like why they did it.
Yeah.
Right. You got to learn. You got to understand. You know what I mean? Like I have nothing against nobody. You know what I'm saying? What happened before my time had happened, I can't control that.
You're not responsible for your relatives.
Right.
What's going on now in me?
Right. In fact, a lot of when I was collecting donations for this Black History organization, a lot of the people were former Confederates. They were embarrassed of their ancestors.
Right.
They were ashamed or horrified that their ancestors would enslave people and all. So I got my greatest donations from a lot of white people who were descendants of Southerners. And now you just say, oh, Southerners, they all want to wave the Confederate flag. But a lot of them don't even know.
No, they don't exactly.
They don't even get what they're doing. They just say, I'm a Southerner, that's my flag. They don't know, like for example,
see, that's the thing about it. A lot of people just never been educated.
They haven't been.
They just don't understand.
They don't understand. So this is Mrs. Hales, this is the master bedroom.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And this is January of 1886. So she's talking about a freeze, and she says, turned cold on Tuesday the 5th, very windy, cold and windy until Thursday the 7th, rained half that night, very windy, wind blowing up a perfect hurricane. But we don't have hurricanes in January. From that time until Tuesday the 12th, the thermometer's 14. And 17 and 20, bitter cold and thick ice lasting from Friday the 7th till Thursday the 14th. Oranges all frozen, ground frozen from the 8th to the 13th. The longest and most severe spell of cold since we came here in 1854.
I'm glad it don't get cold like that now.
Yep.
Good job. 17, 14, but
and
not
that's so 1886 to 1854, and then there was another freeze in 1894, and that was the end of oranges because they had fallen off the trees.
Right, they would have burnt. Froze.
Froze set, and people write in the 1894 and 95 freeze because there was, I want to say it was December of 94, and then maybe January, February of 95. And people write about going into abandoned houses where there was food on the table and the house was empty because they left.
Right.
They were freezing and they knew our orange trees are dead.
Right.
We could never make a living here again. They just left. And I used to read about that, how houses were completely intact, but the people that inhabited them just left.
Right.
You were still hot. And then you see the windows didn't have screens, so as soon as you lifted them up, everything came in.
Right.
And
the windows were so
it was like living outside. There was you had a roof over your head.
No insulation,
nothing to keep the elements out.
Right.
And then, of course, like all mothers, they wrote on the walls to show the heights of the children.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they used to do. I don't know if they still do it. My mother did it.
Yeah.
But in a basement. We lived up north, and she did it in the basement.
1893, wow.
Yeah. And now here's another walk-in closet. Again, it just had hooks because they didn't have a closet for our hangers. And another thing someone figured out is that she's constantly having children, so she's writing her time of the month. And you can see how irregular she is. Here's the 6th, here's the 13th, 14th, 12th, 20th, 24th, 20th, 26th. She's like, not pregnant. I got the time of the month yet.
Jeez.
Yeah, so she's recording it there, and she probably would freak out that she knows we're telling people because that's kind of embarrassing.
Right.
But someone figured it out what she's doing and why she was constantly getting pregnant. No regularity whatsoever.
Whatsoever.
Not having that many kids, anyways.
And
it's a huge
if
yard.
you look straight ahead, you can see the light on the red bricks. That's the chimney
Oh, yeah, I see
from
it.
Bennett Kelly's house.
Oh,
so she
okay.
would stand on the porch and call to him, and he lived close.
So that's where the
House was. Yeah.
That's where his house was, and then straight back from there was the slave cabins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people in Gainesville are from like Madison and Quincy, because the people would start there and then come on down.
Right.
Okay, so the secret is, this is missing, so it's a little harder, but if you cheat, you could read, it says incubator. So this is what the chickies would sit here and their eggs would be here. And their eggs were kept warm by this gas heater. See, no one knows it. This is a gas heater, and this would close, and the chickies, there's a little chickie there, you can't see it very well, and the eggs would be here.
Wow.
This one's easier. You know what this is, right?
She says easier. Oh, that's the ice machine, right? Yeah, that's the ice machine.
It's an ice box. But so it's so new, they don't know, is this an appliance? Does it go in the kitchen or does it go in the parlor? Because, and think of how big, they had a 17-person family.
Oh, wow.
How do you put all your food, your cold food in there? That would just take our drinks.
Wow.
That would just take our drinks today.
So they would use that as
That's kept their cold food if they wanted their milk to stay cold or whatever.
So it's more like a refrigerator.
It's a refrigerator. And here's the ice tongs.
Yeah, that's what made me think it was ice machine.
And then you close this, it's missing its top.
Right.
And you put the ice in here, and then ice sinks, the cold air sinks. But it's really beautiful, very fancy.
I thought it was a cabinet at first. It's like a hand.
Well, a lot of people know it, because see, that's showing how young you are. Because almost all the people that are older, they all know this is an ice box.
Really?
In fact, my uncle used to call even refrigerators ice boxes.
Right.
Because he would just call them ice boxes, but instead of refrigerators. But that's one of the oldest. This probably was in the kitchen, we don't know. So this is
How do you think you are?
Well, I think you're older than her.
You're right.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to say you're 55.
Oh, wow.
You're 52?
Look at that.
She's 48.
Okay, 48. Well, you look younger.
Thank you. Yeah.
People tell me, how old do you think I am?
I was going to say about 55.
Really? I was gonna say in your 40s, late 40s.
I'm 71.
Get out of here.
Shut up.
My husband thought I was in my 50s too. He's 52 as well. He thought I was in my 50s. So I'm thinking, you don't know how old I am. But I did tell him. And we've now been married 26 years.
Wow.
So it didn't bother him. In fact, he looks older than me now. His beard is completely gray.
Right.
Unlike yours. Yours is partially. He's got a completely gray beard and then still brown hair.
You say you're 72?
I am 71.
71?
Yes.
Wow.
It's all about the skin cream.
What skin cream do you use?
Yes. I wish people, I don't know why people don't ask me that. They just go, you don't look that old.
Yeah.
And your mobility is so good.
Very good, yeah.
I know, I don't
That's why I
understand
was like,
that. That I don't understand.
What's your secret?
Okay, so the skin cream it's sunscreen with Neutrogena. It's Neutrogena in a little squirt bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the Neutrogena is the sunscreen that you use?
It says sunscreen, but it's also got the retinol and the hyaluronic acid. It's got all the good things in it.
Okay.
And they just go, how do you do that? And I had women say, I hate you.
I've noticed the older I'm getting, I'm having more skin problems, especially with the change of the weather. My skin dries out, and then I start getting spots, and so I'm like,
I would never guess your age. I'm sorry.
Would never.
You're beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be 71 and a half in January.
Would have never
be careful.
guessed.
Somebody might try to get you.
So the
Commodores.
Yes, you remember the Commodores?
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy wrote, God bless this house, Walter Orange. This is William King, Walter Clyde Orange, and James Dean Nicholas, Commodore Entertainment. And somehow he knew his ancestors worked here.
Oh, wow.
So he came and toured it. I wasn't here then.
So his ancestors were...
His ancestors worked here, and he knew that. And he says, God bless this house, Walter Orange.
You know, just what y'all do here is just so lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the presentations we went to, this is the number one, the most educational one. Because other ones we really didn't have no guys. We talked to at the Wendy presentation. We talked to some of the slave
descendants. Yeah,
and that was nice. But this is the total best so far.
Well, that one was around COVID, so they had like the self-guided.
Oh yeah, I never liked that.
Yeah,
we are at the house. And then there's Bennett Kelly. They say caretaker's cottage. That's what we see. And then back here, that's where the enslaved people's cabins were. And then you see the smokehouse. We don't have any evidence of that. Kitchen, and then the cistern, which I showed you, and the outhouse, and the barns. And then we do know people's names because here's a descriptive list of Negroes transferred by Major H.F. Routh Depot, quartermaster at Lake City, to Lieutenant J.B. Bailey, February 25th and 26th, 1864. So we know this named person, we know his age and his name. Owner, Charles Hale, John Hale, and Thomas. And we're in Thomas's house right now. And these are the people that he was purchasing. And we know their names. Here's James Chestnut. That was Serena Hale's
so they weren't all just numbers.
They weren't just, because when you do the census, here's the census, it was just an age.
Right.
Age and black male. But now here we know their names.
I realize on here the oldest is 45. Up here, is that 55 age?
Yeah, 55. 55, 55, 50, 50, 45, 45, 20, 30, 20, 20, 16, 16, 12.
1860, 1864. I was looking at the years.
This is Gaines. He was the one who was the mason. They've had family reunions, and Watts have had family reunions here. Watts was, I think, the carpenter. And this talks about the Watts, and then now look at him. Talk about mixed.
Oh, yeah.
He's majority white.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's majority white. And then now she is very beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so I guess she had everybody coming after her because she was so pretty. And so she ended up never marrying. And kind of going.
He looks tall, huh?
Yeah.
He looks tall.
He does. But Bessie Watts Brown, she was really highly thought of and probably college educated. And there's a circle, Bessie Watts Brown Circle at Mount Pleasant Church, which is one of the prominent black churches.
Right.
They have these circles. And her circle, I think, continues to this day.
That's tall.
Smells like tobacco up here.
Tobacco?
Yeah.
You're getting that from the spirits.
Really?
You know, a lot of people smoke.
Well, yeah, I thought maybe it was just in the walls. You know how when you smoke.
It has anything to do with tobacco here.
Well, these were the kids up here, so I guess they wouldn't be smoking
So
tobacco.
what was interesting is you heard little girls talking. So this was the girls' room. Now he could have had 10 girls or 12 girls, but he ended up only having two. And the guy that was paving the walkway, the concrete walkway from the visitor center to the house, later he came by, after he was done with that, like a month later, he came by with his girlfriend. And he told me he saw little girls looking out of the girls' room. Yeah, and you heard them.
Wow.
Crazy.
So somebody doing renovation on the house.
He wasn't on the house.
He wasn't on the house, he was on the concrete pathway. From the
walking.
visitor center to the house.
Yeah.
And he said, I guess he was
He
over
saw
here.
and
And he saw some little girls looking out of the window. So
Okay.
this, like I said, could have been
Interesting.
a lot of girls. So he made a big closet for them with all their hoop skirts and petticoats and their hats.
That was big.
So this could be an apartment for a U.S.
Right?
Come here. You've been down there, your couch here.
She said this was a closet.
Closet,
This
yeah.
is their closet for the girls because they had to have big hoop skirts and petticoats, and if they had 10 girls, then or 12 girls, they would need room and on all the shelves and their big floor hats.
Wow.
But
That's
this
crazy.
is how big he made it, and I think the very first rating that was found is on one of the shelves where a little boy wrote his name on one of the shelves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
But this is a girl's room.
this is the
There's
girls'
writing on the
that's
side of
right.
that
Yeah.
too. On that bookshelf thing.
and that may be on the shelf somewhere, but that's what they did. The boys' room is actually as far away from possible as the master bedroom. The master bedroom's way over in that corner. This is the boys' room.
All the running and
Yeah, jumping around.
yeah.
So Karen's friend Kaylee, her ancestor was the caretaker of the plantation when it was abandoned and taking care of the house. So Karen and Kaylee are very good friends. So Kaylee put this together showing all the children. Here's John Chestnut Hale. He's the one who died at 19. Served in the war, and then he died of, we don't know
How do
why.
you get both last names? Is that his
That's his mother's maiden name, so they gave
Okay,
it to
I
him as a
gotcha.
maiden name.
Right,
Just to
right.
carry on the family name. He died at age 19. Benjamin died at age 37. He died at 32. He died at 35.
all in the 30s? Wow. Besides the youngest one died at 19.
And then we know the ones that were born in Alachua County more, 38, 78, 87, 73, 57,
So he was 87. So he was
Yeah,
the oldest
87,
that passed
He
away.
was the oldest. Yeah.
74, 68, 65. He's the one who owned the house that was the lawyer. And then 84.
Wow.
And I actually have given a tour to his descendants.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were just standing here and they said, oh, that's our relative. And I didn't even know it.
Writing on the wall is prohibited. Exactly. It's not vandalized.
This is nice.
I'm glad I had you.
Yeah, basically.
To be added to our walkthrough at the plantation, we came out to visit the cemetery as well. I guess the majority of the family is buried out here, as well as one of the homesteads enslaved caretakers. I guess he was. He was
a slave that became.
more,
He was a slave one time, and then when they got freed, he became one of the deckhands of the
household still.
the plantation.
Yeah. So he is also buried out here.
Him and his wives. He had two wives. The first one passed.
Oh yeah.
The first one passed, and a couple of months later, he married the second one.
He was quick with it, wasn't he?
Quick with it.
Quick with it. 2 months later, he got married, child.
Again, right? I don't remember if it was 3 months, but I know it was close to.
They were
first ones.
sneaking. They were sneaking around. They was courting before the wife passed. But
No, they weren't courting. They just knew each other.
no, y'all ain't hear that from us. So. All right, y'all. So we're gonna take you out here to the cemetery and share this with you as well. Oh, but they don't take care of this part. I wonder why that is. Look how overgrown and this is. Oh, okay. Maybe it just look like that for us. Wow.
Just in case you're wondering, I said, wow, Evan's birthday is the same day as mine. But as you can see, he was a lot older. Wow.
This is Thomas Hill.
Thomas. What was his name? You remember his name?
Who?
The
Caretaker?
Yeah, caretaker.
I'll remember it when I see it. Well, you know he's not a Hill.
I thought he was. No, he was a Pinchel? I don't remember what he was.
This is Esther, the wife of Thomas.
So his name was Thomas.
Hmm?
Yeah, was his name Thomas?
No, he wasn't a Hill. His last name wasn't a Hill.
So this must be the
Right, the husband and wife, the Hills. This is
the slave masters, right?
right.
Oh, okay.
Right, but he is buried out here.
Right. Okay, this is Thomas here. So
Right.
that's the wife.
Right.
Chestnut.
Now you catching on.
But why did she still have her last name Chestnut?
Because a lot of women did that.
You better not do it.
See, James Chestnut. Yeah. Remember
His birthday is June 20. Wow. His birthday is June 29th. Evans was June 11th. He died May 10th. Evans died May 3rd. June here. A little girl, a little child buried out here.
Right. She said one of the children.
Yeah, but they died up in Carolina.
Oh, was it in
The
Carolina?
girl died in Carolina, yeah.
This is John Chestnut.
7 days after his birthday.
1867. Benjamin Hill. 1883. I don't see his plot though. I mean, it's a historical, but wow. I guess. Carl Hugo, son of Amelia, 1882. And this is so corroded from the weather and everything else.
The bench on top of that, you see it?
Hmm?
The bench.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was that, the fire?
Hmm?
What was that, the fire?
What fire? Probably burning trees and shrubble. I don't see his plot. Did you see it?
Oh, it might not be in here. It's probably out here somewhere. I don't remember who he is.
That's sad. We just took the history class and we already failed.
I know, right?
What y'all in school today?
We forgot.
I ain't even gonna lie. I was one of those. Wasn't it? We just startled a deer. He jumped the gate and got stuck for a second. Of course I didn't catch it on camera. What's that, babe?
No, how is it? There's one way you can get in. It's like
Step?
Yeah.
That's weird. I guess they figured there ain't nobody else being buried in this plot. Close it off. Oh yeah, there's stairs on this side, and they go over to the other side. That's different. What's the names? Can't read them, can you? Huh? Harvey?
Yeah, all in the 1900s. Ever seen that before?
First time for everything.
Welcome back, people. If you ever in this area, please stop by and check it out. The tour is $5, but it's worth it. It's
Definitely
worth
worth
it.
it.
And you
Definitely
learn
worth
so
it.
much about Gainesville. What's the name of this county? It's over there.
Achalua?
County. But anyway, you will learn so much about the history. And this is another part of the things we do, you know what I'm saying? Learning the history of the different plantations and stuff like that. And just to get to understand, you know, what went on before we came along, you know?
Definitely, I would say come with an open mind. And it's so much to learn, so much that anyone of any culture can take from places like this. And yeah, I mean, black, white, Indian, Latino, any culture you can learn. We all can relate. So definitely come with an open mind. They're very informative. The house itself is very interesting to walk through. To me, it was the talking walls that really brought me here. All the writing on the walls, like for it to be as old as it is, and to go into their mind and see to try to figure out what they were thinking when they were writing these things on the wall, some of them. But yeah, very interesting. And we think we had some spirit activity, some I don't know, some type of activity around us. So y'all,
but it was nice.
Pay attention to this video, take in the information. Also, let us know if you heard or saw anything that I didn't mark, because y'all know my ears are horrible. So I may have missed some things that y'all may be able to pick up.
Okay, this is a long outro.
And thank y'all for watching.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you all. Like and subscribe.
She was gonna talk y'all to death, so I saved y'all.
That's what he does. He does it to me. He does it all the time.
What?
Anyways,
supposed to.
Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Get us to that 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so we can start thinking about going to that conjuring house. All right, guys.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cosmic.